So in previous lecture, we studied two important enthalpies. They are lattice enthalpy and number two, hydration enthalpy. Lattice energy or lattice enthalpy, hydration energy or hydration enthalpy. Lattice energy is the amount of heat energy released when 1 mole of ionic solid is formed from its constituent oppositely charged gaseous ions which are present at infinite distance. So, whatever be the amount of heat energy released in this reaction is called lattice energy. This is measure of force of attraction between oppositely charged ions. See, large amount of heat energy is released, there is force of attraction, maximum force of attraction. So, in other words, greater the lattice energy, greater is the force of attraction. Greater the force of attraction exists between two oppositely charged ions, greater the lattice energy. Greater the lattice energy, greater the stability. Greater the stability, higher the melting point and boiling point values. Lattice energy directly proportional to charge on ion and lattice energy is inversely proportional to size of ion. So generally force of attraction exists between +2 ion and -2 ion greater than +2 ion and -1 anion or +1 cation -2 anion greater than +1 cation and -1 anion. Clear? Now, what is hydration energy? See, when ionic compound is dissolved in water, it dissociates into oppositely charged ions. Oppositely charged ions. See, for example, NaCl is dissolved in water. We will get aqueous solution of NaCl. Aqueous solution of NaCl contain aqueous Na plus ions and aqueous Cl minus ions. So, what is aqueous Na plus? Na plus ion surrounded by negative dipoles of water is called aqueous Na plus ion. Aqueous Cl minus means a Cl minus ion surrounded by positive dipoles of water, right? So these are called aqueous ions. So during hydration, the process of surrounding of water molecules about a particular ion is called hydration. And during hydration, due to force of attraction between ions and dipole molecules, so that is ion dipolar attractions, energy is released. That energy is called hydration energy. Hydration energy directly proportional to charge on ion. For example, if you consider Na plus, Mg2 plus, Al3 plus, they are present in the same period, but sodium forms Na plus ion, magnesium forms Mg2 plus ion, aluminum forms Al3 plus ion. Then the order of hydration energy is Na plus less than Mg2 plus less than Al3 plus. Hydration energy is inversely proportional to size of ion. So Li plus more hydration energy than Na plus, K plus, Rb plus, Cs plus. Which of the following is heavily hydrated? A. Li plus, B. Na plus, C. K plus, D. CCM plus. Answer is A. Because hydration energy is inversely proportional to size of the ion. So Li plus ion in the gaseous state, Na plus ion in the gaseous state, K plus, Rb plus, Cs plus. In the gaseous state, the size order of the size, Li plus less than, Na plus less than, K plus less than, Rb plus less than, Cs plus. See here, due to small size, Li plus is surrounded by more number of water molecules. Therefore, Li plus is heavily hydrated. Heavily hydrated. Now, what is the order of size in aqueous solution? Li plus aqueous is larger than Na plus aqueous, larger than K plus aqueous, then Rb plus aqueous, then CCM plus aqueous. Very, very, very important. In the gaseous state, normal order, atomic size order, ionic size order, same. But in aqueous solution, Li plus is surrounded by large number of water molecules. That is why its size abnormally increases in the aqueous solution. So therefore, in aqueous solution, the size order is just reverse to it. Remember, Li plus in gaseous state, minimum size. Li plus in the aqueous solution, maximum size. So, ionic mobility. See, ionic mobility is nothing but is the tendency of movement of ion in the aqueous solution. Li plus is smaller than, means, so you can compare ionic mobility with ionic velocity also. Aqueous Na plus less than, K plus less than, Rb plus less than, Cs plus. This is order of ionic mobility. So that means the speed of Li plus ions in the solution is very, very less because its size abnormally increases. So large size moves slowly, small size moves fast. Therefore, this is the order of ionic mobility. Therefore, order of electrical conductivity. Li plus conductivity is less than Na plus less than K plus less than Rb plus less than CCM plus. For example, LiCl, NaCl, which is good conductor of electricity. NaCl is good conductor of electricity because electrical conductivity depends on Na plus and Li plus, because in both the cases Cl minus is same. So electrical conductivity of Na plus is more. Why? Because its ionic mobility is more. Why is ionic mobility more? Because the size of Li plus ion in the aqueous solution is more than Na plus ion. That is why Li plus ion moves slowly and sodium plus ion moves fast. That is why Na plus is good conductor of electricity. Aqueous Na plus is good conductor of electricity. Therefore, aqueous solution of NaCl is good conductor of electricity than lithium chloride. Now, see, we are going to learn a new concept: solubility of ionic compounds. I told you NaCl is readily soluble in water, but AgCl is insoluble, AgBr is insoluble, AgI is insoluble, even though these are considered as ionic compounds. Now, if NaCl is dissolved in water, we will get aqueous solution of NaCl. Aqueous solution of NaCl. Aqueous solution of NaCl contains aqueous Na plus, aqueous Cl minus. Right? Okay. Now, the overall solubility of sodium chloride in water can be represented as sorry, NaCl solid plus N water, because water is taken in the large quantity, so that is why you can put N moles of water. Then we will get aqueous Na plus ions and aqueous Cl minus. Right? So here NaCl is dissolved in water, we will get aqueous solution of NaCl, is it not? So that is represented in the form of an equation. NaCl solid plus N moles of water gives rise to aqueous Na plus and aqueous Cl minus. Right. Now, I am dividing this equation into several steps. See, for example, NaCl solid. Okay. Now, here it is broken into Na plus ion and Cl minus ion. So, which are in the gaseous state only. So, this is first step. Now, in aqueous solution, Na plus ion is surrounded by water molecules, and same Cl minus ions also surrounded by water molecules, N moles of water. Now, gives rise to Na plus gaseous ion surrounded by water molecules. Now it became aqueous Na plus and Cl minus aqueous. Right? Now, if you add these two reactions, say this is first step, say this is second step. Now, if you add both the steps, then NaCl solid gives rise to, and water molecules are also there, N moles of water gives rise to, see, gaseous Na plus ions, gaseous Cl minus, this side Na plus gaseous ions, gaseous Cl minus ions cancel out. NaCl solid, N moles of water left in the left hand side. Next, what are the species in the left hand side, right hand side? Aqueous Na plus, aqueous Cl minus. So this is overall reaction, right? Now, to understand the energy changes in formation of aqueous solution of NaCl, see, 1 mole ionic solid, 1 mole ionic solid broken into constituent gaseous ions, constituent oppositely charged gaseous ions. So here, to split the 1 mole of ionic solid into constituent oppositely charged gaseous ions, to break the strong electrostatic force of attraction between oppositely charged gaseous ions, it needs some energy. That energy is called lattice energy. So, what is lattice energy? It is the amount of energy required to split 1 mole of ionic solid into its constituent oppositely charged gaseous ions. So therefore, here energy changes is minus lattice energy. Why I am putting minus lattice energy? Because we have to supply lattice energy here. Or you can also write lattice energy plus lattice energy in the left hand side. This is endothermic process. Now, Na plus ions surrounded by water molecules. So that means Na plus undergone hydration. Cl minus ions converted into Cl minus aqueous. So that means Cl minus is surrounded by water molecules. So the phenomenon of surrounding of water molecules about a cation or anion is called hydration. During hydration, energy is released. Right? So here no need to supply energy here. Gaseous Na plus ions, gaseous Cl minus, they liberate energy in the form of heat. So, lattice energy we have to supply. Hydration energy they liberate. So, therefore, if lattice energy is more than hydration energy, required energy is more, energy liberated by the ions is less, which means that the overall process will become endothermic process. Then remember, ionic compounds are insoluble in water. If lattice energy is less than hydration energy, then energy required is less. energy liberated by ionic compound is more. Energy required is less, it liberates more energy, means overall process is exothermic process. See, for example, lattice energy is 100, hydration energy is 50. Lattice energy is greater than hydration energy, then it is endothermic process. Then ionic compound insoluble in water. For example, lattice energy is 200 and hydration energy is 600. So energy required is 200, energy liberated is 600. So net energy liberated by the reaction is 400, which means that it is exothermic process. Then ionic compounds are readily soluble in water. Very, very important. Suppose more than 3 times same question is repeated in the main examination and other competitive examination also. Assertion, they give one statement like this: Na2SO4 readily soluble in water, whereas barium sulfate insoluble in water. Reason: lattice energy of BaSO4 is greater than hydration energy of BaSO4. So, for this question, both A and R are true, and R is correct explanation for A. Clear? See, any compound, any ionic compound is insoluble in water means, remember, net energy changes in the process is endothermic. So that means lattice energy of ionic solid is greater than hydration energy of that solid. Similarly, any ionic compound is soluble in water means lattice energy is less and the hydration energy of the solid is more. So it is very, very important for you. Na plus half chlorine gas, NaCl solid. So here some energy is released. It is released in the form of heat. So whatever be the amount of heat energy released here is called enthalpy of formation of NaCl. This we discussed in the previous lecture. Right? Okay. So in 9th, 8th level, you studied many reactions which are exothermic and endothermic, right? So they can be determined experimentally. So whatever be the amount of heat energy absorbed or released in the reaction can be determined by experiments. Now, can we determine this Na plus gaseous ions? Cl minus gaseous ions combine to give NaCl solid. In this also energy is released in the form of heat. Now, in this reaction, enthalpy is known as lattice enthalpy, lattice energy. This cannot be determined from experimental results. We cannot obtain from the experiments. Therefore, lattice energies of ionic crystals are determined by using Born-Haber cycle. Because it is not possible to determine lattice energy of ionic crystal, because lattice energy is nothing but the energy released during the formation of 1 mole of ionic solid from its constituent oppositely charged gaseous ions. It is not possible because we do not have Na plus ions and Cl minus ions in the laboratory. We have sodium metal and chlorine gas. Therefore, this can be determined experimentally. It cannot be determined from experiments. Now, can be determined by using Born-Haber cycle. So, I think you understood the importance of lattice energy of ionic crystals. See, if you determine lattice energies of ionic crystals, you can compare the stability of ionic crystals. You can compare the melting point and boiling point values of ionic crystals. It is most important application of lattice energy. And lattice energies of ionic crystals can be determined by using Born-Haber cycle. Okay. Now, Born-Haber cycle is based on Hess's law of constant heat summation. Hess's law of constant heat summation. So, what is Hess law? Briefly, for example, this is a chemical reaction A to Z. For example, here Q kilocalories of heat energy is released. Now, suppose the same reaction is carried out in more than one step, like this. A gives rise to B. Q1 kilocalories of heat is released. B gives rise to C. Q2 kilocalories of heat is released. C to Z. Q3 kilocalories of heat is released. Now, what is the overall reaction here? Again, A to Z plus Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3 kilocalories of heat is released. Okay. So, this is first method. Let us suppose that this is second method. In first method, A is directly converted to Z. In second method, A is converted into Z through 3 steps. Right. The overall energy changes. Overall energy changes means the amount of heat energy released or absorbed is same if reaction is carried out in one step or in more than one step. energy released will be the same. Is it clear? Okay. I am giving one simple example, but actually I don't know the energy changes in those reactions. But see, when carbon is burnt in oxygen, we will get carbon dioxide gas. For example, in this reaction, Q kilocalories of energy is released. Let us suppose that. Now, if the same reaction is carried out in more than one step like this, incomplete combustion of carbon gives carbon monoxide, Q1 kilocalories. Next, carbon monoxide is highly reactive and again it undergoes oxidation to give CO2. Let us suppose that Q2 kilocalories. Then, if you add these two steps, we will get C plus O2 gives rise to CO2. Now, total energy liberated is Q1 plus Q2 kilocalories. Now, according to Hess law, Q kilocalories is equal to Q1 plus Q2 kilocalories. This is Hess law. Born-Haber cycle is based on Hess law of constant heat summation. Simply Hess law. Born-Haber cycle is based on Hess law. Let us see how to calculate lattice energy of NaCl crystal. Na solid plus half Cl2 gas, NaCl solid, NaCl solid, right? Okay. Now, here energy changes in the reaction delta H of naught, because in this step 1 mole NaCl is formed from its constituent elements. The amount of energy released or absorbed when 1 mole of compound is formed from its constituent elements is called enthalpy of formation. Delta H of naught of NaCl is minus 410.5 kilojoules per mole. So actually this is the method of preparation of NaCl in the laboratory. Okay, now to find the lattice energy of NaCl, okay, so here this is lattice energy. To determine lattice energy of NaCl in this step, now I am dividing this reaction into more than one step. Okay, right. Now see here, first step, sodium is metal, right? So sodium is in solid state. Okay. Now, solid sodium by gaining some energy which is known as sublimation energy gives rise to Na plus. So this is the first step. Solid sodium changes into gaseous sodium directly. So this process is called sublimation, and energy used for this process is called sublimation energy. So what is sublimation energy? It is the amount of energy required to convert 1 mole solid sodium into vapor. This is called sublimation energy. So solid directly converts into the vapor state. The energy supplied is called sublimation energy. So right, sublimation energy is supplied, thereby solid sodium changes into gaseous sodium. Now, second step, gaseous sodium absorbs ionization energy and loses one electron. See, this energy is called ionization energy. Why? Because it is the amount of energy required to remove an electron from a neutral isolated gaseous atom. So therefore, whatever be the energy used here to remove the electron from sodium is called ionization energy. So first step is endothermic. Second step is endothermic. Now third step. See, chlorine exists as Cl2 but not Cl. Is it not? Chlorine is a diatomic molecule. So here we are using only one chlorine atom. So therefore, molecule has to dissociate into atoms. Now, see here, we are breaking the bond between chlorine atoms. The energy required to break 1 mole of bonds is called bond dissociation energy or bond dissociation enthalpy. For example, for 1 mole, if it is x kilojoules, then half chlorine, how many kilojoules are required? X by 2. Is it not? Similarly, here I am using BDE by 2. What is meant by BDE by 2? Half of the bond dissociation energy. So we require 1 mole chlorine atoms. See, that is why I used half mole chlorine. If you use 1 mole chlorine, then you will get 2 mole chlorine atoms. So, if you use half mole chlorine, you will get 1 mole chlorine atoms. So, we require 1 mole chlorine atom. Therefore, we have to take half mole chlorine. For half mole chlorine, half of BDE is required, right? Next, third step is also an endothermic step. Next, number 4, chlorine atoms gain electron from sodium to give Cl minus ions. Now here energy is liberated, that energy is called electron affinity, electron gain enthalpy. See, what is electron gain enthalpy or electron affinity? It is the amount of energy released when an electron is added to the outermost orbit of neutral isolated gaseous atoms. Now, gaseous Na plus ions and gaseous Cl minus combine to give NaCl solid. Here, energy is released. It is called lattice energy. This reaction is exothermic reaction. Remember, number 1, number 2, number 3 is endothermic, and number 4 and number 5 are exothermic. So actually this is the overall reaction. I divided this reaction into 5 steps. Now if you add, again you will get the same. See, solid sodium. Okay, here gaseous sodium, gaseous sodium, gaseous sodium gets cancelled. Next, gaseous Na plus, gaseous Na plus gets cancelled. Chlorine atoms gets cancelled. Cl minus gets cancelled. So what remains? Na solid plus half Cl2 gives rise to NaCl solid, right? Now, here energy released is Le plus Ea. This is energy released. So I am taking this as negative because they liberated, and energy absorbed they have taken, right? So sublimation energy, ionization energy plus BDE by 2. This is endothermic, this is exothermic. So this must be equal to minus 410.5 kilojoules per mole. So this is minus 410.5 kilojoule per mole. This is equal to minus Le minus Ea plus Se plus Ie plus BDE by 2. So if you substitute the values of electron affinity, these values are available. Sublimation energy is available. Ionization potential of sodium is available. And bond enthalpy, bond energy of chlorine molecule is known, right? So therefore, we can able to determine lattice energy of ionic crystal. Clear? Now here, sublimation energy. Sublimation energy is 107.3 kilojoules per mole. Ionization energy of or ionization potential of sodium is 495.8 kilojoules per mole. And half of bond dissociation energy, this is plus 122 kilojoules per mole. 122 kilojoules per mole. Next, electron affinity of chlorine. This is, you can also write here also. This is minus because it is liberating, right? minus 348.6 minus 348.6 kilojoule per mole gives rise to Cl minus gas. Next, we don't know lattice energy of ionic crystal. Right? Now, if you substitute the values, you will get the lattice energy of ionic crystal. Minus 410.5 is equal to minus Le minus 348.6 plus 107.3 plus 495.8 and plus 122. Then if you calculate the lattice energy value, you may get around 787 kilojoule per mole. Greater the lattice energy, greater the stability of ionic crystal. Right? Again, we will study the same SS law, Born-Haber cycle, in another topic. In +1 only, it is thermodynamics. In thermodynamics topic, again we will study this same topic, Hess's law of constant heat summation and calculating lattice energy of NaCl crystal by using Born-Haber cycle. Clear?